Hello? Hello? We're here. Excuse the hair. It's seen better days. How's it going? Welcome. We'll let people trickle in before we get going fully. I'm just about to have a haircut, so it's seen better days. It's seen better days, but I'm going to be looking fresh sooner rather than later. We'll cut all this out once it's done, but thought I'd just wait a second. How are we doing? Big news as of yesterday. Obviously, Victor Osimhen doesn't look as though he's going to be coming to Chelsea. I'd already resigned myself to the fact that it was not really looking likely for a number of reasons, both realistically speaking and, financially speaking. It just doesn't make sense, does it? It's just not a feasible option at the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. We'll get into it in a bit more detail in just a second. Before we do, please do obviously like the stream, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content. We will be having another one of these tomorrow at about 1 p.m. UK time, so about 3 hours before now tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled, and then I will be doing a Champions League watch along as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. Plenty of content tomorrow, despite the fact we were supposed to be having the 8,000 subscriber special tomorrow, but that's been postponed until the 9th of June. With that said, no gaming streams today. I'm a busy man. I was just prepping to paint my living room, as you do. And so this might be a short one. It might only be like 20, 25 minutes or so, but we'll cover a few good things. I'll cover a few good things. Gaming streams will probably be back, the 9th, pretty much. But there we go. With that said, here we go. It's not a here we go. But we are seeing rumours circulating at the moment regarding Victor Osimhen that is of a negative nature towards Chelsea, in the sense of it seems as though the period of your agent John Obi Mikel may well have dissipated. It may well have lost its traction a little bit. So already know what the jokes are going to be. It's John Obi Mikel couldn't get it done, so it's going to be Mikel Arteta could. One Mikel better than the other. You can already see it. The writing's on the wall. It's there. It's there for the taking, let's be honest. But with that said, obviously yesterday we had the reports from Fabrizio Romano saying that Chelsea will sign a new striker this summer as part of the next season plans. But no negotiations or talks taking place for Victor Osimhen with or without Lukaku in the deal. As we know, we're trying to offload Romelu Lukaku as well. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's going to be as part of a deal including Victor Osimhen. Now, the thing is here, I'm not overreacting by like a lot of people are. I'm not necessarily someone who's dying to have him at the club, but at the same time, I wouldn't give up hope if you are someone who wants Victor Osimhen to Chelsea, because just the wording of this, it's like a block in the road. I could easily see this still happening if we wanted to. Financially, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And so at the same time, it's not really giving the impression that it's a done deal. It's not happening whatsoever. I would take it with a pinch of salt. At the same time, he does say that Chelsea are not planning to go for Osimhen as of now, is what I would highlight here, is as of now. It doesn't mean in general, I wouldn't say, unless it might be a bit of a language, a poor translation or whatever in terms of what he means by as of now. It means maybe that does mean like as of right now, Chelsea no longer have an interest in Victor Osimhen. If you're thinking grammatically, I would say that means as of right now, it could still be on the cards, but who knows? Lukaku and Broja expected to leave. Of course, Broja had his stint at Fulham, didn't pan out. He's had options here and there. Saudi, I think, as well. Monaco have come in for him. Lukaku, who's been at Roma on loan. He's due back at the club, but it does seem as though he is absolutely surplus to requirements and will not be used. Now, the newest parts of all this coming out at the moment, Di Marzio, so you never know. It does claim, one second, let me make this a bit bigger. It does claim, cover me head. It does claim that, let's go over here, that Arsenal are now, for fuck's sake, Arsenal are now in the running for Victor Osimhen. Negotiations between Napoli and Chelsea over Victor Osimhen did not take off, which I find so hard to believe. It seems like everything we've been told, everything that we've witnessed in the media from your John Obi Mikel and from him as well, and all the history of him being a Chelsea fan and all this sort of thing, it seemed like it was a destined move. So the fact that now he's linked with a move to Arsenal, it just kind of begs belief. It doesn't really entirely make sense from his standpoint, from Victor Osimhen's point of view. I don't see how, other than a move to the Premier League that would be guaranteed, I don't see why he would want to go to Arsenal rather than kind of just wait. At the same time, how old is he, Victor? Is he like 22? 25. Okay, so he's not exactly, he's not exactly young. And what is it? 108 league games, 65 goals. We know how good he can be. We know how good he is. A lot of people are doing the argument that he's not necessarily what we're needing. He's not necessarily the man that's going to fit, and it is just going to be too much money. Like, he's wanting too much. He's too high profile of a player at the moment, and that even Nicholas Jackson would be a better option in this regard. If he was to go to Arsenal, fair fucking dues. Do you know what I mean? What can we do? Fabrizio has come out at the last hour saying Chelsea are currently not working on Victor Osimhen, as reported yesterday, which I don't know why he's posted about that. It's pretty obvious. I will type in Arsenal next to Osimhen and see what comes up. But, it does seem as though not only are they going for Osimhen, they're also looking at a potential deal for Benjamin Sesko as well, after being offered the chance to sign Victor Osimhen. So they're assessing both, which these news articles, it just sort of screams of it's just news coming out the blue, isn't it? It's like big team interested in big player. There doesn't seem to be any substance to this whatsoever. Again, Victor Osimhen has been offered to Arsenal. The club has not entered into any discussions yet, as they are actively exploring a limited pool of striker options, prioritising Benjamin Sesko. Again, we're doing the exact same thing. Big teams wanting big strikers, Again, as it says in exploring a limited pool of striking options, it's the same story for all of these clubs. Chelsea, Arsenal, United, we're all doing it. Maybe not United, they've got Højlund, but you know what I'm trying to say. Daily putting out as well, or what that was on Di Marzio as well. Osimhen is interested in Arsenal. It doesn't. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There doesn't seem to be any substance to the story necessarily. Like, he is just said he's been offered to Arsenal. It doesn't ring true. It doesn't make sense for that to be even, necessarily a thing that we would, or that he would even contemplate. Do you know what I mean? Joe saying that the Napoli owner isn't exactly a nice guy, or the best guy. You know, it might happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. As he's trending, Michael Olise is, of course, a target for Chelsea. He's a target for Manchester United. It does seem as though the move to Manchester United seems a little bit more of a likelihood. You got stuff here, gaining confidence. They can beat Manchester United to the signing of Michael Olise. That was 41 minutes. So Chelsea think that they can. Do they have a books? Michael Olise, next club odds. Can you bet on that? I don't think you can. Michael Olise, club after the summer transfer window. So Manchester United leading the odds, the bookmakers at the moment. Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Man City. So it is either Man United or Chelsea, according to the bookmakers, which, as we all know, usually has some sort of insider intel as to what the movings, the goings on are at the moment. I just want to see Chelsea next manager odds. Because surely you can't even bet on it anymore. No one's taking anything at the moment because obviously it is more or less a done deal, but it's not confirmed yet. But just I thought I was interested to see. At the same time, Crystal Palace are building a super team. Olise and Eze should stay another season. It raises the question as well. I don't know why. Well, I know why, payday and everything like that, but you look at the way that Crystal Palace have been in the last 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, under Glasner, with Mateta, the rest of the squad, that three up front, they're one of the best teams in the league in terms of in 2024. I really don't understand necessarily the rush. Michael Olise, if he is as good as he says, or as everyone thinks he is, what's another year? 22 years old, plays for another year at Crystal Palace, maybe, just maybe, gets his club and Eze the same to a European spot. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Crystal Palace, they've been making inroads here and there in terms of the quality of players. They are obviously a bit more of a feeder club, so to speak, with Wan-Bissaka, Zaha, and so on, all these players over the years. Even as far back, did we get hang on. Did we get him from Palace before I make an idiot of myself? I'm fairly sure we did. We didn't. He was from Reading. I was going to say Steve Sidwell. He's never even played for... I could have sworn Steve Sidwell definitely played for Crystal Palace, but I stand corrected. Why did I assume that Steve Sidwell played for Crystal Palace? He just seems like such a Palace player, no? But no, I don't see why either of those players would necessarily decide to leave when they could just absolutely kill it at Crystal Palace for like another season. You've got Eze as well. So Olise is 22. Eze is 25. Jesus Christ, he's a bit older than I was expecting as well. But they're absolutely killing it at the moment at Crystal Palace with Mateta, who is linked, of course, I don't know if he is anymore, with Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know why they wouldn't stay another season instead of rushing their choices. So we'll move on. Trevoh Chalobah is now trending as we're talking about this. Palace could push for Europe if they recruit well. I literally was just saying that. Yeah, Glasner's rejuvenated that squad. Well, I say rejuvenated, taken them to complete heights. I nearly probably got to call myself copyrighted there.
Chelsea's Trevoh Chalobah.
It is Man United consider a move for Trevoh Chalobah. Manchester United are considering a move for Trevoh Chalobah. Is that correct? The United stand understands that contact has been made between Man United and Trevoh Chalobah's agents, and the club is thought to be keen, though discussions are not advanced. Vincent Kompany, the new Bayern Munich manager, is also showing interest in the player. Trevoh prefers to stay in England, but Chelsea are looking to offload him, and it's understood he's not valued by the Chelsea board. Outrageous. Again, I can't stress enough how fucking stupid that is. Pochettino and Tuchel, who are both linked with the United job if Ten Hag is sacked, are both big fans of the player. What a fucking surprise. Every manager that's come in touch with Trevoh Chalobah rates him as a defender, rates him as a player overall, but not our board. Our board knows better. They really do. I'm trying to see. We are allergic to mid players. First Mount, now him. I feel like people just don't... The respect for Trevoh Chalobah is outrageous, or the disrespect, rather, on Trevoh Chalobah is just fucking stupid. It's so weird. It's so weird. 25 million price tag for Chalobah is a joke. Shouldn't even be selling him. Stupid decision. Again, why? Why? I mean, we know why we would get rid of him is for pure profit. But in terms of, we know Chalobah doesn't want to leave. The fans don't want Trevoh Chalobah to leave. It just seems like you're forcing someone out of a place they love being on. Do you know what I mean? Just ridiculous. The same sort of thing there. So there we go. More news regarding Trevoh Chalobah. We spent 73.5 million on Badiashile and Disasi just to tell Trevoh Chalobah, just to sell Trevoh Chalobah for 25 million. You got to feel for these academy boys. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Esteval Willian also in the news as well. I can't quite remember if there's no real update, but of course, Palmeiras are set to play tonight with 3 future stars in the lineup. Was that last night? What was the score with that? Should we have a look? FOTMob. Uh, 5-0, 2-1. And that was against Kendry Paez' team, if I'm not mistaken. So Kendry Paez was playing. Endrick was playing. Esteval was playing. So Endrick, as we know, joining Real Madrid in July. Luis Guillermo, how do you say that? Guilherme. West Ham are in talks over him. And then, of course, Esteval Willian, who is touted to be the guy for the future in Brazil, is already on a verbal agreement with Chelsea, as we know. It doesn't seem as though necessarily either of the players got a goal or an assist, but it's always... I mean, they played against each other not long ago as well. So I remember Alex was doing a watch along for that. What else have we got before we wrap up? Again, as I said, it's only going to be a quick one today. But does anyone know anything in the Conference League? Chelsea's coefficient of 99 is 3 times that of the next qualified club, Real Betis, with 33. Varane would be an option, but recently he's been more injury prone. I just said hear me out when it was rumoured that he was going to be leaving, and or reported that he was leaving. I got bombarded with people saying that I've got absolutely no ball knowledge, because why would we get someone else who's injured when... You know, I just thought it was a genuinely something that we would consider as a club. Last but not least, Chelsea and Napoli are currently not working on a swap deal between Victor Osimhen and Romelu Lukaku. Chelsea insist on a £38 million release clause for any club keen on signing Romelu Lukaku this summer. So just as a final note... we are still looking to ship Lukaku away from the club. We are insisting, as it says, £38 million, the release clause. A bit of a dent, but nothing really too crazy, especially when you consider how old he is. and how little we want him. He's on enormous wages with the club as well. I think like 350,000 a week or something, but crazy like that. But yeah, the sooner he's gone, the better. It's not going to work out. I thought it might be possible for us to try and mend bridges, amend the relationship, but it seems as though he's as good as gone, realistically, if we can ship him out for that amount. I don't see us dropping him for anything less than 30 million. But we'll have to wait and see. With that said, a quick one today. I will be back tomorrow for the a bit more of an update tomorrow regarding any transfers, potentially. If there's no news, I might not. But at the same time, we will see. At the very least, I will be doing the Champions League final. So make sure you're here about 15 minutes before kickoff. And we will go through the Champions League final together. And then that'll be it. With that said, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. Have a good one. See you later. Goodbye.